Welcome back, everyone, to another Eats Beat Live, the most delicious live stream in the Metroplex. And Happy New Year. I'm Bud Kennedy.
And Steve Wilson.
Well, it's a new year, and we're talking about new barbecue. We have new restaurants to talk about. The big one everyone is to talk about is a little rib stand over on East Seminary Drive. With us today is Jonny White from Ribbee's Barbecue. Hello, Jonny.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Well, now, if people don't know anything about Jonny White or Ribby's, there is another restaurant they may know a little bit about, and that's Goldie's, south of Kennedale. Johnny, tell us how Goldie's spun off this new idea for Ribby's.
Well, we found this building on Facebook Marketplace that looked.
Where everybody buys their restaurants on Facebook Marketplace, of course. That's where you always look for the quality real estate deal.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. I'm always on there looking
What
for stuff, cool stuff.
What were you looking for on Facebook Marketplace? Were you looking for like a used bomber jacket or a good Ford F-150, or what were you looking for on there?
I'm always looking for restaurant equipment. Just anything really. I'm on there looking for anything for that I could maybe use for Goldies or use at home or use myself.
Well, Johnny's one of the partners in Goldie's Barbecue. Ribby's will open in the spring. It's an all rib stand, ribs and French fries. Is that right?
That is right. That's the game plan right now. We're looking at baby back ribs, French fries. It was going to be macaroni, but now I think we're looking at a coleslaw, and then we're going to make our bread rolls in house.
I'm going to make another nomination for you. I think based on kind of demand and what people are wanting in some of these other places, I think you have fries and tots, and
Yeah, yeah.
fries and tots and coleslaw. So
That's not a bad idea. I
tot,
actually I like tater tots better actually.
yeah, tots are really kind of popular in these smash burger places. So I think
Yeah, and
you'll,
we're in an old Sonic too, so kind of
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I think Tott's little barbecue sauce would be good too. What? Well, I don't. I'm here. I am already talking about telling you what to have. What are the five kinds of ribs? Yeah, now I've been to Charlie Virgo's and I'm aware that there are other kinds of ribs, but I don't think I knew there were five kinds of ribs. Tell us
I
what you're
think
going to have.
well, it's not five kinds of ribs. It's just the different flavor. I guess it is, but it's different flavors of ribs. We're gonna do like a dry rub. We're gonna do a sweet one, a spicy one, like a sweet and spicy one, and then we'll have like probably like a flavor of the month, kind of like a special that we just run that we can make whatever sauce we want and put it on the ribs.
And then Goldie's is known for ribs, but this is going to be a different cut of ribs.
Yeah.
What's the difference in those?
So at Goldie's we have the pork spare ribs. They just have the cartilage at the end of the rib tips. Baby back ribs are a different cut and they're a little bit smaller, but they're a little bit meatier.
So you have baby backs in five flavors and a couple of sides, not too many, and
Yes.
just kind of a little rib stand off I-35 South in Fort Worth. Why'd you want to come in town? Of all the things you could have done for your next Goldie's location, what made this the idea?
Um, well, we obviously wanted to get like this concept. I think needs to be a little bit closer to downtown Fort Worth. So we thought the location was great for this concept, and I don't think there won't ever be another Goldie's. Goldie's is just one of a kind, and it'll be right there forever. Hopefully.
And Goldie's, we should say, is on 4645 Dick Price Road, south of Kennedale, technically Fort Worth, greater Fort Worth, but really probably known as closer to Kennedale, down where the speedways used to be, and down it's where you can get good car parts down there. It's a great place to get a
Yes.
hubcap or something like that. Just on your way to get a hubcap, you could also stop in and get barbecue. Steve, you've been to Goldie's, right?
No, I haven't.
You haven't made it out? Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's
Steve,
sort of like
we were both
they're
in
only open
COVID.
like they're only open like 3 days, right?
Yeah, we were
Yes.
both in COVID lockdown for a while. Johnny,
Uh-huh.
you're about to reopen it. Talk about what you'll have, and you're about to reopen Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the new year.
Yeah, we were closed last weekend, but we'll be back open. I don't see us closing for a while unless there's like an ice storm or whatever. But we'll be back open this weekend, 11 a.m. till we sell out, just like every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And we should explain what's on the menu at Goldie's. It's more than just ribs for viewers who haven't gone.
Yeah, Goldie's is just a classic barbecue place with the brisket, ribs, turkey, sausage. We have our new pork belly. We have coleslaw, beans, potato salad, and grits, and our Kennedale stew. And we have banana pudding and bread pudding. And we make everything in house, including our bread.
The bread's great too. It's like yeah, it's
Thank you.
completely made in house, all craft, small batch, whatever labels you want to use. But the main thing to know about that, when you use all those terms, it means if they run out fast. That's the main thing to know, is that because it's all made in house. That means you come at you get in line about 9 or 9:30. You get lunch at 11 or 11:30, and either that or you show up about 1 or 1:30 and eat the leftovers. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say the first few people in line get there around like 7, 8 a.m. But the line really starts to grow, and we recommend people getting there around 9 a.m. So that gives you like a nice 2 hour wait in the morning, and everyone's just hanging out, having a good time. Right now, it's not a whole lot of people from Texas in our line. You'll meet people from pretty much all the states and a lot of different countries. So the line's always super interesting in the morning. You get to talk to a lot of really cool, interesting people, but we do start selling out of stuff around like 1 o'clock, 1:30, and then the line starts to get short. We're through the morning crowd, and I recommend locals pulling up around like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and seeing what we have left.
What time do you usually shut down?
We'll shut down at 3 o'clock, but usually if we sell out before that, we'll shut down then.
So
But I would
you're
say it's closer
open.
to right now. It's right now it's around like 2:30.
So you're open 4 hours a day, 3 days a week at Goldie. So that's 12 hours. But Ribby's, you're going to stretch that into like a normal commercial business hours. Is
Yes,
that,
yeah.
yeah, when's Ribby's going to be open?
Ribbies. I'm hoping it's like 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. I want to do our normal, like kind of a normal business hours for a restaurant. Yeah, ribs are baby back ribs are quicker to cook, so we can do double cooks and during the day and make sure that the ribs are always nice and fresh for everyone. And so they only take like 3 4 hours to cook. So we can constantly be able to crank those out, and then we're just looking at French fries and coleslaw. So everything will always be made fresh, but we'll be able to have longer business hours.
Steve, when Texas Monthly came out and Daniel Vaughn put Goldie's on top of the top 50 in Texas a couple of years ago, one of the other barbecue pitmasters around here, I won't say who, but growled. He said, "I'm open more hours in one day than he is in a whole week. He shouldn't get to be number one for that."
Well, it's
Yeah,
a commitment. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that. It was yeah, because in the article it says that we were cooking 4 briskets, and which we were. I mean, we were slow. I mean, it was we were out there in Kennedale, and COVID just happened, and we were struggling out there, and we were doing like 4 to 8 briskets, and it was tough. But yeah, Texas Monthly came out there and hooked it up big time for us.
And now it's more like 48 briskets, right?
Yeah, now it's like more like 48 briskets
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah. I mean, I remember actually being able to go out there during COVID and finding no line and being able to come up and nobody at all. And it's like I
Yeah.
thought, well, go now because this won't last. And what a great opportunity y'all were. And we won't talk about COVID much, but I mean, y'all were out there from a folding table in the parking lot selling things,
Yeah.
and people were lined up. It was still a good chance, and y'all worked hard then. You're kind of reaping the reward now and all the success.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Now, yeah, it was rough. We didn't let it like we opened up for a month, and then COVID happened, and then we didn't let anyone in the restaurant for an entire year. And then we were able to open back up, and I think it was like 6 months later we were number one, and we were packed. So it was a struggle, but now it's been all good now. It's been all good now.
Steve, how do you compare these kinds of ribs? You talked about spare ribs and baby backs, and I've always heard about baby backs, and I know that there used to be a couple of restaurants in town that would have usually they'd have spare ribs, or one night a week they do baby backs all you can eat for a price and things like that. And how do you compare the different kinds of ribs?
They're like
like I said, they are meatier and they're a lot quicker to cook. That's why they're more popular in a lot of restaurants. Like Chili's was doing baby back ribs like that, but it's a lot easier to knock them out than it is to spare ribs.
With Chili's, you could knock them out about the time it took them to sing about them, right? Johnny, you don't have like a catchy baby back rib jingle or anything, do you?
No, not yet, but I'll definitely start working on it.
And I already teased him. They're going into an old Sonic. I asked him if he was going to be out on roller skates, skating out to people. If you come in and park at the Sonic, the first thing you need to know at Ribby's is that nobody's going to come out and wait on you, right, Johnny? You got to come on in and get
Yeah.
your rib.
You got to come on in and order.
Keep that picture up, Steve. A reader asked me why there is a cow in front of Ribby's. Isn't that a non sequitur for a baby back rib place?
It is. Well, the previous owners left it for us, and we thought it was cool, and we put it out front. But now I think it's kind of like the Chick-fil-A, like how the cows are promoting eat more chicken. That cow's saying eat more ribs.
Eat more ribs. That's right. You could RIBZ. You could eat more ribs at Ribby's or something like that.
We just thought we just thought it looked cool, and I think people will take pictures by it, and they'll be eaten by it and stuff. I think it just looked cool.
It looks very Instagrammable.
Yes.
Johnny,
yeah.
Viewers may want to know about you and your background and your partner's background. You all came through various trips to Austin and back, and you're Arlington, natives with a background in barbecue, and you went to the same junior high school, as I recall. I mean, kind of tell people about all your background.
Well, me, Elaine, and Jalen have actually been friends since we were in second grade, and we went to elementary school, middle school, and high school together, and then we moved down to Austin for a couple years after high school, and we worked at some barbecue places, and we decided, we want to open one ourselves one day, and Lane's mom drove by Goldee's, which wasn't Goldee's at the time, but there was a for rent sign in the window, and she hit us up, and we went and checked it out that week, I think, and we loved it. So, I mean, it was an old barbecue place as well, Kenneth's True Pit Barbecue. It was there for a long time, but it was up for rent, so we grabbed it.
Oh my gosh, Lane's mom was driving down Dick Price Road out there going, and found the old Kenneth's. Of course, Kenneth,
Yes.
I can't remember Kenneth's last name, but he had a good old timey barbecue place. He had homemade chili. It was very similar to Hickory Stick in Everman, if you've been there. And
Yes.
it was kind of an old school barbecue place. So it was a great little landmark. Well, in coming to East Seminary with Ribby's, you've kind of I-35 is kind of becoming a spine of barbecue places. People can, if they don't come all the way over to Kennedale, they can go to Rendon, they can go to the new Heim in Burleson, they can go to Ribby's, they can go up to Panther City, which is right off 35 there on Pennsylvania, Hattie on the south side. They go to Bricks there. If they want to, they can go all the way through town and go to 407 out the other side of the speedway. So you're catching travelers up and down 35 at a real good location.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the location being like it's actually right off 20 and 35. So I mean, going either way, you can stop by and get some Ribbies, and the Goldee's location isn't great, but we just thought this one, off two highways, we were pumped up to be here. We love it.
How did you do as far as like out of town visitors for baseball games or football? Yeah, I know that the Hurtado folks have a lot of stadium business, but you get a lot of out of town sports traffic too, right?
Oh yeah. We have people coming every weekend with the jerseys on of the team they're going to go see this week and stuff like that. We get that a lot out there at Goldee's.
What's changing about that whole, I hate to call it the barbecue craze, but the barbecue culture, the get out and drive across the state and line up at 8 in the morning for barbecue? Is it just as fevered as it has ever been? Is it changing because of people's money's a little tight, or people are getting great barbecue near their town and they don't have to drive across the state for it anymore? What do you see going on out there in the barbecue culture?
In the barbecue world right now, it looks like yeah, people's money is definitely getting tighter, and barbecue is also getting more expensive. So that's a lose lose for us. I think lines are still forming. Like everyone still has a nice decent line. I haven't seen much of a change, but I think it's still growing more than ever. And there's a lot of new interesting barbecue places opening up, and I think the lines are still going to be there for pretty much forever.
In reading about the new Hyman Burleson and the new Danes in Alito, I think that they both have tremendous outpouring of support and lines. There is a little bit of price pressure. There are people in both of those cities who are saying, "Gosh, I didn't really think this was going to be $22," things like that. So
Right, right.
there is a little bit of price pressure when you come to a different town. But Steve, do you see anything changing in the barbecue world? Is everything just as going just as full blast?
I think everything's going pretty full blast. I'm not seeing, you know, for a while it seemed like every day there's a new barbecue person coming in and wanting to do some craft barbecue, and that it seems to stabilize the same group now. So it's not like you're not seeing a lot of new people coming in. But for a while it seemed like there was I think it's stabilized, but I think people are still into barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had a new guy or a new pit master in a little while, but they've opened new places. But
Mhm. And
Johnny, you may
the
know of somebody else. Is anybody else coming in the market or anything else going on that we haven't talked about?
Um, no, I think barbecue is just I think barbecue has gotten better over the last like 5 years. I think every place is improving a little bit. There's new techniques. There's new smokers coming out. There's all these new things coming out with barbecue, and barbecue is just going to keep pushing forward and getting better and better and better. And we love to see it, and we want to get better as well at Goldie's and at Ribbee. So I think the future's bright for barbecue.
Well, I'm going to talk about some of the other food news of the week. This is Jonny White from the forthcoming Ribby's Barbecue. Ribby's opening in March, 923 East Seminary off I-35 in Fort Worth. He's one of the co-founders of Goldie's, 4645 Dick Price Road, south of Kennedale, off of I-20 in southeast Fort Worth, between Fort Worth, Arlington, Mansfield area. Some of the other things we talked about, travelers on I-35 and how easy it'll be to find barbecue. They'll also be coming up I-35 for the closest Bojangles Chicken. Bojangles Chicken will be opening on the edge of Fort Worth and next to Burleson, down across from the big Burleson shopping center down there. So there'll be a Bojangles on I-35. That's in the food news this week. And then in other kind of interesting items, I talked about price pressure. Several different restaurants have announced their $10 lunch menus this week. For one, the old Candlelight Inn and Division, has a $10 lunch now with their chopped steak with enchiladas, and then Cheddar's announced the Cheddar's chain announced a $10 lunch menu. So people are kind of trying to help people get through lunch and save a little money at lunch. Uh, Also, there's another little food item that hasn't even been on the StarTelegram.com yet, but we have two rises coming to town. We have Rise Souffle, that's really well known for souffles from Dallas. A wonderful little French cafe is opening a South Lake location. And then the other Rise is Rise Biscuit from Durham, North Carolina. Southern Biscuit Restaurant is opening out at Blue Mound Road in Basswood. So we have two restaurants, very different, named Rise, that'll be opening. The TGI Fridays in Arlington closed. That's the last one outside of DFW Airport in Tarrant County. So it's almost farewell to TGI Fridays, not quite yet. And stock show's coming up. So Steve, we'll have to talk about stock show dining next. Any other food news going on, guys?
Did we mention that Johnny has a YouTube channel where you can learn about making barbecue?
Oh, Johnny, yes. Talk about your YouTube, your Instagram. Talk about where to follow Johnny and see Johnny, and talk about where to see Johnny on the days when Goldie's isn't open.
Well, I'll be at Ribby's, but I do have a YouTube channel. It's Jerby BBQ, but also
JRBY.
JIRBY BBQ. Jerby.
JIRBY BBQ.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's also my Instagram. But this year, we're gonna be doing videos every week on the Instagram for Goldie's BBQ. So I highly recommend following Goldie's BBQ on Instagram and on Facebook. we have our own backyard smoker that we sell. We have our own made rubs and sauces that we sell, and we're gonna be doing videos every week on the Goldie's Barbecue channel. That's why I recommend seeing me and the Lane and Jalen and some other people cooking on that platform.
See, this is what's great. Follow everything, embrace everything about the Goldie's Barbecue Empire, and you'll
Yeah, yeah,
learn.
yeah.
You'll have all the.
It's just
Do you have your? Go ahead.
yeah, it's just a lot of fun for us. I mean, the Goldie's Backyard Smoker, it's a weird design that not a whole lot of people have seen. So we're just trying our best to showcase it and teach people how to cook like certain food and barbecue and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
have
like
your
the most.
line of Steve?
That's
Go
like
ahead.
the most. That's like the most offset smoker I've seen.
Yeah, hey, that's literally that was the goal, is make it the most offset smoker,
Uh-huh.
and the more offset it is, the better it is for the meat.
Mhm.
So we love the smoker. We think it's a great design. It's been working. We've sold quite a bit. We've gotten great feedback. So we're gonna be doing videos on it all year this year.
Yeah, I'm surprised I hadn't seen that design before. Because it's
Right,
like
right.
because it makes sense. You look at it and you go, that actually should be pretty good. Just why hasn't anybody thought of doing that?
It seems kind of obvious once you look at it. Like, yeah. That, I mean that looks pretty good. Yeah.
Johnny,
I
do you
agree.
have a special line of Valentine's gifts yet? Are there Goldies for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, just buy the person you love some Goldie's rubs or some sauces, I guess.
And what about bread making school? Do you have that? A lot of people would just
we
like
do,
to learn how to make that bread.
we actually should. We do barbecue classes here and there. We post about it on our Instagram. If you're interested in those, we'll always post on Instagram. They fill up quick and sell out too. So those are really great. But we should actually add a bread making class. I don't think that's a bad idea.
There are so few restaurants in Dallas Fort Worth that do the good homemade bread like you're doing. It used to be something that you would find, particularly I would find that in West, and the Czech restaurants in West would always have this great home baked bread. And I don't know where your recipe's from, but it reminds me of what I used to find at Shoelocks in West. So you have a great baker too. So.
Thank you. Yeah, we like making the bread. We've been doing it for a long time, and then we're also gonna make the bread at Ribbee's. We're gonna make the homemade rolls that go in each box. Just to make it a little bit better. Just a little bit better.
A little bit more. All right, we'll be ready for ribs, fries, tots, and coleslaw, and homemade bread at Ribby's when it opens
Yes.
up.
Yes.
Steve, that should be a couple of months. I hope people are still replaying this and watching when it comes
Oh
around.
yeah, I'm excited. This I mean, the look of the restaurant is just so neat. That it's real eye catching. Kind of, almost reminds me of that orange oil there at Six Flags.
Johnny, that isn't Atlanta Falcons red you put on that, is it?
No, it's not that. It's not that dark of red. It's a lighter.
Okay. All right, Steve, we'll come back soon. We'll talk about stock show dining. We'll talk about Valentine's Day. And until next time on Eat Speed Live, I'm Bud Kennedy.
And Steve